Okay everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the Self-Employed Agency playlist. A little bit different here actually. I've got Alistair joining me, and Alistair's in his first year, so you're going to be the first agent that we've had on this season that's going to be talking about the first year, which everyone sets up as the horror year.
Yes.
It is difficult, we've heard some of the stories, but before we get on to that, why make the move? You're a family man?
Family man.
Why make the move? Why take the risk?
I think the main thing for me was I got to a certain stage in my career where you weren't an estate agent anymore.
Okay.
So you were more of a manager of staff, HR problems, you got your bosses breathing down your neck about certain things, and it wasn't enjoyable anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, love estate agency, been doing it since I was 17, and thought now was the time to get a bit of time back in my life and do the fun job.
Yeah.
Do the estate agency part again.
Did you feel like you were in the complaints department sometimes?
Yeah, firefighting.
I experienced the same.
Yeah, training up new staff. You know, it's difficult. You've got a high turnover of staff when you don't pay them well enough, and just want to do estate agency.
Yeah, okay.
That's the fun part.
Yeah, last week we had Dan on, and Dan was saying something quite similar, that he almost fell out of love with agency, and he was on the crossroads of management versus being an agent, and to stay as an agent and just be an agent is not as financially rewarding as going into management and area management and directorship. So it's a quandary where a lot of people get to that kind of 10-year, 8-year window and they go, maybe this isn't for me. And that's kind of where you were at. Now, obviously, the self-employed model, which there's obviously loads of, but we're obviously discussing avocado a little bit more here. That's the kind of, I guess, the light that gives you an opportunity to be an agent, but also have control of everything, really. So.
Exactly. I think you're exactly right. You get to that stage in your career where it's very difficult to leave agency because you hit a certain earning threshold, and you're like, oh, I can't leave. And you feel like you're too old to start something new and start at the bottom. You get used to a certain income level, which is, again, we'll speak about it later on, but why I joined Avocado was I could maintain that income level, get more spare time back, and do the fun part of the job. Do it for me, rather than someone else. Yeah,
work hard, but work hard for you rather than working hard for someone else.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly that.
So you're in your first year. There's going to be a lot of these, but my second question to everyone has been, what surprised you as like the hardest, most difficult? Is there a moment where you're like, oh my God, what have I done? Is there like a constant reoccurring challenge?
There is. I think the biggest thing is getting your name out there, because there's a lot of established high street estate agents who the phone will ring for them. So when I set up my own company, the day after I thought, the phone's going to ring. Didn't happen.
Doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work like that way. So being used to having appointments put in my diary for me, I've had to go out and look for the business, which you used to do when you were maybe a junior neg. You'd go out, you'd leave the job, you'd door knock, whatever that might be. But I found, I've had to network a hell of a lot.
You've got a lot of your business from networking, haven't you?
Exactly that, yeah. That and recommendations. I think people also like the underdog. He's doing it for himself, let's give him some support.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of clients that I've got off the back of recommendations. So it means a lot, but it's very difficult to get your first listing.
That's a really, really important point that we haven't discussed on any of these playlists or seasons so far, is the underdog. And I think the British mentality is to support an underdog. And we see it a lot with celebrity sports stars. You know, you can basically see the climbing of a heavyweight boxer or Wayne Rooney or, you know, someone of that character where you're like, I want them to do really well, and they've got the talent. And then all of a sudden, an Anthony Joshua becomes heavyweight and everyone destroys him. Everyone wants him to fail. And it is a funny mentality that we've got in the UK. And the same with successful businesses. You know, people become anti-Amazon or whatever it may be. You know, they no longer order on Amazon because they don't like the success and the money it's created. And it's not like America. Although the self-employed model of agency is American style, that part of it is really important to remember, is the humility of being the person that they bought into.
Yeah. And I've been very surprised with the feedback I've got from both buyers and clients, actually, on how they've really enjoyed the experience. I've had buyers that have left me Google reviews that haven't bought through me, but they've seen the other side of the coin and thought, I wish I bought through Alistair if I had the right property. So, I think you're right. People do like the underdog.
Yeah, keep the humility. So that's been probably the hardest part, which makes sense in your first first year, first couple of months is actually going, right, how do I generate the business? And on that, kind of in the same sort of way, but on the flip to it, has there been a real like magic moment, a real moment where you kind of celebrated on your own or with your wife? Like, is there a moment where you're like, okay, this is working, we've done the right thing here?
Every time I get a listing, every time I get a sale, it's literally, it's so exciting. And that's one thing that I didn't get when I left the high street. It was more volume, and you can't celebrate all the volume, whereas you can when you do it for yourself. But I think that the first 3 months were the probably end of the third, fourth month, I thought, oh crap, what have I done?
Everyone says the same thing,
but you've got to realise it is the first year. You've got to give it time, and you've got to just stick to it. Keep doing the same things over and over again. You will get there.
Yeah, I think what you're basically saying there now, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you fell out of love with agency. Have you fallen back in love with it? Yeah,
definitely. I've got 2 completions happening in the next week, and I'm so excited. I've got bottle of bubbly ready, waiting to give out, and you just lose that in the high street. It's
it means a lot, and I guess you've liaised with the person so much more on a one-on-one basis rather than them being sort of chopped around to different people in the branch, if you like. So you've probably built some strong relationships with the clients, I would imagine, as well.
In fact, one of my clients is actually coming in to give a testimonial soon.
Video testimonial.
Yeah, she lives in Spain, but she's happy to come all this way to help me out, which is amazing. Literally for that.
Wow, I mean, what a message. For people that are watching, when would that ever happen in normal industry estate agency?
You would ask for a Google review if you remembered, and that would be it.
And we're talking a lot for estate agents on this, but also a big part of the reason why we do the hours we do, we work hard, is because we like helping people move, and we like the success story of seeing someone find their dream home. And what you're talking about there is you've done such an incredible job for a lady who lives in Spain. She's happy to fly back to the UK and film a video saying how much she enjoyed your service level, which that's so powerful. You can't get that unless you are business owner to client level of service, in my eyes.
Definitely. No, she's more than happy to do it. She can't wait.
Okay. I've asked this question to everyone so far on this season because I think it's important for people to think about scale and think about the long-term plan. For you at the age you're in, you looking 10 years down the line thinking, right, that's a very different point in my life. What's your kind of plans around the next 10 years financially? How do you see the business working for you for the 10-year long goal?
So I think sort of long-term plans, I want to retire by mid-50s. I know that's definitely more than 10 years away. But that's my plan, is in 10 years I want to be in that position where I'm established, people know my name, they're calling me out, as opposed to perhaps me having to network the way I'm doing. But just keep doing exactly what I'm doing now. Keep making people happy, moving home. That's the plan.
Do you ever see yourself bringing another business partner in, becoming a duo?
Yeah, well, we've spoke about that a couple of times on what would be best. It's definitely something I would consider, but I think it's got to be the right person. I think there's a lot of agents out there, perhaps would be a wrong fit. But there's two people that I've got in mind that I'd really, really like to work with in the future.
Well, we won't say them on camera, but you know who you are. What advice would you give to people out there that are thinking, maybe of becoming an avocado partner?
I think one of the things that somebody said to me is you regret the things you don't do, not what you do. So I think you've got to always have that in the back of your mind. Do you want to be 10 years down in your career and gone, I wish I'd done that? So put all of your fears aside, as long as you've got the financial backing there, which is a big thing. That's the biggest worry. Have I got enough money to see me through? I would suggest sort of 6 to 9 months worth of bills, and then just go for it. If you've got the finance behind you, you're not worried about where's my next paycheck coming from, and you can actually go out and enjoy estate agency again.
Yeah. We regret what we don't do, not what we do. It's my quote of the week. I took a selfie with you before this video and I'm going to post that tomorrow. That's my post. I absolutely love that because I think procrastination is the number one reason why people don't get to their goals.
When I started, I got called 2 things, either stupid or brave.
Definitely brave.
I'm on that camp now. At first I thought, well, maybe I've been a bit stupid. No, don't listen to what people think. It's if you know you're a good agent, go out and do it.
Yeah.
You don't need to prove to anyone. You know you can do it.
Worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, you just go back to being an agent.
Exactly. And the blueprint works. It genuinely works.
Yeah.
But for anyone out there that's thinking, well, it works.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Appreciate your time, Alistair. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers in.